Warning, the show may contain some crude humor and mild swearing. Listener discretion is advised. This show is produced by Geek Happy Network, constantly curious about the things we love. If you enjoyed listening to Smörgåsbord, remember to subscribe to the show on Spotify, YouTube, or on your favorite podcast app. Remember to leave a review. We would love to hear your thoughts.
This is Smörgåsbord.
Welcome to Smörgåsbord, a show where we explore the rituals, myths, and all things strange about the world of food. I'm Mick, and here is my co-host,
Angel.
And today we are covering La Tomatina, the largest food fight in the world.
I'm gonna guess it has something to do with tomato.
Correct.
Tomato.
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 Yeah. If last week we covered grapes, or wine, I guess, this week we're covering tomatoes, which is
a fruit.
Which is also a fruit, yeah. This is the one where you, in this festival, La Tomatina is just like the grape one, where you dunk yourself in tomatoes instead of wine.
I feel like tomatoes is grosser on a scale of gross things that I wouldn't want dripping off of me, because it's slimier.
It is, and they're like seeds and stuff. And this is not, I mean, wine is just liquid. This one is actual tomatoes.
It's slimy.
And unlike last week where it was just, I think, 20,000 liters, this is 150,000 kilograms
This
of
is
tomatoes.
a different unit of measurement here.
Yeah. And surprise, surprise, this one also happens in Spain.
Hey, those Spaniards love pelting people
Throwing
with
shit,
edibles.
yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Before it, though, I figured we'd start episodes with what's in our palate instead of end it.
Oh, okay. I think we forgot to do it last time.
Yeah, I think we did. I guess that's why we'll just move it in the front.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Let's do that.
Yeah. What have you been? What's been in your palate this past week?
Well, Mick, you were telling me about the volcano chicken ramen, saying how it's super spicy, and so I went and bought not one but 2 packs.
Ooh.
And I did not even get a tickle.
See, I still feel like you got the wrong one.
No, it's the one that you showed me. It has the same picture of the crying chicken,
right?
And it says volcano chicken.
Did you get
I
like
compared
a 4-pack?
it to the
Okay.
picture that you gave me.
Weird.
I compared the packages.
Right.
And it was definitely the right one. I almost got the wrong one because there was also another crying chicken, but this is the correct crying chicken.
Yeah, this is the one that's crying harder than the two of them, right?
This one's like tears streaming out of its eyes.
Weird.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's not very spicy for me.
Yeah. Well, from my end, I also had that volcano chicken, and I was dying.
With different effects.
Yeah. It was very hard not to touch your face from all the sweat coming out. So I probably also contracted COVID at that point.
Oh, man.
Well, we're going to have to do like a spice challenge at some point.
We'll do a spice challenge and you can witness me in person.
You will see me in pain. In dying pain.
I'll be like, I feel nothing.
Yeah. But today we're not covering volcanoes. We're covering La Tomatina, a little festival of tomatoes that's celebrated in a little town of Buñol in Spain. With about 9,000 residents, 2,000 less than last week's city of Haro, or town of Haro. Buñol is located smack in the middle of the east coast of Spain, in the province of Valencia.
I know that word, Valencia. It used to be an Instagram filter.
Really? Oh. Yeah. Well, it's also
it's
a place.
the most abused one that I on my old feed before I deleted everything.
I did not know there was a filter for that. And no, I am not over the age of 50. Well, it's also a province in Spain. In the east coast of Spain. The province itself is actually very beautiful. It flourishes with beaches, a mixture of modern and classical art. You could find old buildings like cathedrals and all that stuff. Stones.
You're giving me a travel boner.
Stone
That's like
things.
something that can never be satiated this year.
Yeah. That's why we're doing these festivals. We're doing all the things that we wish we
Can't
could be
do.
doing. Yeah. Because just like the Haro Wine Festival, La Tomatina has also been cancelled this year.
Oh.
But yeah, aside from the old buildings and stone cathedrals, you also get modern buildings like the City of Arts and Sciences, which is this massive complex of very different modern buildings, including the Oceanographique, which is a massive aquarium, essentially.
Cool.
There's like, you could go down to this, I mean, it is a coastal place, right? So it's pretty it's pretty straightforward, that you would assume, or whatever. It's a coastal place, Oceanographique, aquarium, they have it. You could even have this place where you walk down a tunnel and the whole sea is in front of you and you'll see different animals and all that. It's pretty cool.
I'm
But-
going to throw some Valencia filters on
Heck
my
yeah.
trips from my future trip to Valencia.
So if you use the Valencia filter in Valencia, will it just cancel
It'll
the
cancel
color
the
of
world.
Valencia out?
It's like antimatter and
Yeah.
matter.
You'll just get a black and white photo? Is that what comes out?
Ooh, that's somebody in Spain. Can you please test this theory? Because I'm
For-
pretty sure the Valencia filter still exists.
Yeah. For our Spanish listeners out there.
Yes.
Por
please.
favor, tomar una foto en el la Valencia, por favor. That is all the Spanish I know.
Oh, that's more than me.
Yeah. I think it is, because tomar is to take, I think. Or is that to drink? Oh no, beber is, I don't know.
The
I'm no
only word
scientist.
I know is mañana.
Later? Or is that tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, because like one of my friends, I didn't even know she spoke Spanish
Right.
until she's like, "I'll see you mañana." I'm like, "You'll see me at my banana." She's like, "Oh my God, no! I'll see you tomorrow." Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will
That's-
never think of mañana the same way again.
Anyway, back to
Yeah. Well, aside from
tomatoes.
the Oceanographique and all the beautiful sights and stuff in Valencia, food-wise, they're also known for inventing paella. Yep. The
Mhm.
paella, the rice dish.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
So paella was invented in Valencia.
nice.
But Buñol
I did not know
is-
that.
Yeah. Neither did I. I just found that out while looking up this thing. And I love paella. Well, you probably hate paella, but
It's ricey.
yeah. It's
I like it
pretty
in
much
concept.
just rice. Yeah.
Is
I
that a thing that happens to other people? Like, I like certain foods in concept, but I wouldn't personally eat it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. It's like when I see I was going to say it's like virgin boy eggs.
No, I don't even like the concept of that one.
I do not at all. Wow. It's just everything is just compared to that now.
It's just not good.
No.
Not good.
But I mean, there's actually a dish in Buñol that is, you extract the flavors of paella and then use the flavors of paella but without the rice. So
Okay.
you might like that. But yeah, so Buñol is a small town of Valencia. So when it comes to things to do there, it's like Haro. There's a castle, there's some churches, there's probably a Spanish-speaking lady and a Spanish-speaking man.
Or
Maybe a fish.
Everyone. Maybe a fish.
Probably a fish named Eduardo. Who knows? In other words, there's
There might be
not
several
really
fish.
a lot of things to do in Buñol. It's a town. They're people.
And fish, apparently.
Yeah, there are restaurants. There's food. I'm sure there's paella. There's
Yeah, at
probably
first I was
squid.
confused because I thought you were saying papaya. I'm like, it took me.
They
God,
discovered
the mental gears are
papaya.
kind of slow.
But yeah, there's really not much to do there. But there are food. There are people. I'm sure it's fun. The people there seem
It's
nice.
probably beautiful.
Yeah.
If anything, you can just like go there and stare at it until
Mhm.
everything looks like the Valencia filter.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. But come the last Wednesday of August, if you're in Buñol, you are sure to do one thing,
hell
and that
breaks
is
loose.
La Tomatina. Well, aside from this year, it's cancelled. It would have been held. It would have been held in August 26th, but I guess I have to find something else to do with those tomatoes.
Oh,
Should I
isn't
catch
there?
it?
What there isn't? Oh no, we have a surplus, not a shortage.
Oh, well, that's even terrible.
Yeah.
We could have our own. Yeah.
I remember a
Oh, well.
few years ago, there was like a tomato shortage. So like a lot of fast food places didn't put tomatoes on their things unless you specifically asked for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you'd have to ask for tomato sauce when you order spaghetti?
Oh no, like actual like fresh tomatoes. So like in a sandwich,
I see.
if your burger has tomatoes, they wouldn't put it on unless you're like, I want
I see.
tomatoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I'm not a big
So
fan
I
of
guess we're
tomatoes,
gonna
so-
be the opposite of that this year. They're
Yeah.
gonna give you all tomatoes.
It's
You didn't even ask. You have to ask for them to hold the tomatoes. Otherwise, you're just getting tomatoes.
you get 2 halves of a tomato and then a slice of white bread in your burger.
It's a reverse tomato sandwich.
It sounds disgusting.
That's awful.
Yeah. So yeah, well, La Tomatina is essentially just a tomato. It's not just a tomato. It's just a tomato fight. What am I saying? And the week leading up to it, though, to the main event, is filled with parades, fireworks, and paella cooking contests in the streets of this little town. So yeah, unlike Haro Wine Festival, which had a few days of celebrations, other festivities like a bull ring, La Tomatina is really just that. It's just one big food fight. You have these things happen beforehand. Again, maybe it's a Spanish thing, maybe it's a Catholic thing. They love doing things before the actual festival as well. But the origins of La Tomatina root all the way back in the 1940s by pure accident. So back then, there would be a parade that would happen in the last Wednesday of August. I think it was called Gigantes y Cabezudos. Gigantes y Cabezudos, which is giants and big heads, featuring people dressed as giants with big heads.
Bobbleheads.
Yeah, essentially. Life-size bobbleheads. But apparently during the parade in 1945, a group of kids knocked one of these people off that knocked his head off. This person got so mad that he actually threw a tantrum.
I thought you were going to say he threw a kid.
No. Even worse, threw a tantrum, eventually colliding with a tomato stall. And I guess out of anger
This is so
from
comical.
these people, someone
This
just
is
threw
real.
a tomato and then it became a food fight.
Oh my god, is this a cartoon? Is this for real?
Bunch of people with big heads. And one of them got so mad they threw tomatoes because they crashed into tomatoes. So I actually don't know who threw the first tomato. Whether it was the person with the tantrum or was it the person who owned that tomato stall.
I feel
Either
like
way.
if it's your stall, you wouldn't be throwing your tomato.
But he crashed into the stall, so I'm assuming the vegetables
just
and all the
punched
tomatoes
the guy in the
just
face.
like fell. Yeah. Yeah. But
How dare
apparently,
you?
either in celebration or in anger, in Spain, you throw things.
You either throw wine or you throw tomatoes.
Yeah.
You're gonna throw that whole leg of ham that you have
Yeah.
like a shot put.
It's out of celebration. Yeah, COVID's over. Throw this flag.
And then someone's gonna have to go and get it because we want to eat it.
Yeah. That's probably how the cheese rolling festival started too. But that's in England.
Throw this
so maybe
cheese.
it's just human nature.
Maybe it
to
was a
throw
tourist, a Spanish tourist
Yeah.
in England, just
Yeah.
threw the cheese. He's like, you know what this place needs?
Anger and throw them.
Anger and throwing. Yes.
Yeah. That's the origins of it. And then the next year, a group of people decide to bring their own tomatoes to the parade and just throw the tomatoes, starting this annual event. But in the 1950s, there was a ban on La Tomatina because the Spanish leader then, Francisco Franco, who was apparently a dictator. No idea. I'm not a scientist.
Oh yeah. That guy's pretty interesting. You should read about him when you.
Okay, noted. He found that the practice had no religious significance, so put a ban on La Tomatina and stopped locals from continuing the tradition.
What a
But-
fun sponge.
Right? Yeah. We should call him Franco Downer.
Franco fun sponge.
Yeah. Franco Front Sponge Franco Francisco.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah. But in 1957, I mean, I think from what it sounds like, the protesters would just continue the tradition anyway in some form, even though it was banned. In 1957, another protest was held. This time, they actually buried a coffin containing a large tomato. It was a full-on funeral. There was a marching band and everything.
There's a marching band.
And whether it was the coffin or the protesters, the ban was lifted that year, and people continued on with the festival. In 2002, it earned an entry in Spain as a festivity of international tourist interest, just like the Haro Wine Festival.
Nice.
And Virgin Boy Eggs in a national level.
Everything has to do with virgin boy eggs.
Yep. I really hope people don't think I'm some weird, creepy.
You hope. You can hope.
Can we edit that part out, please? Today, the event is attended by over 45,000 people around the world, apparently. It's become so popular, you actually have to buy your own ticket to enter the festival, and they limit entry to the town.
Dang.
Which is weird. I would think the
It's a
Haro
small
Wine
town.
Festival... Yeah. But I would think the wine festival would garner more people than tomatoes.
Well, the tomato one is more well known. Like, I knew about it before.
Yeah.
I've never heard of the wine one.
Yeah. But like both of them had almost the same year of origin in the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, the wine one happened in the 1300s. But yet,
Oh.
tomato got more popular than wine.
They played their PR cards right.
I guess so. I mean, Valencia is much more popular than La Rioja. I don't see
There is a filter named
filter,
after
yeah.
it. Okay.
Like, you don't,
It's an
you-
influencer, obviously.
Yeah, you don't open up Instagram and say, I'm going to put the La Rioja filter on.
Hi there, my name is Kanyeki Kamawe, and I'm the host of the Represented podcast. No matter who you are and no matter where you come from, we each have a story to tell. The Represented podcast explores individuals' life stories with the hope that we can identify with or learn from them. Subscribe and listen to the show on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or even Spotify. You can also check us out on the Geek Happy Network website. That's geekhappynetwork.com. Finally, follow the show on Instagram at Represented Podcast to keep up with the fun stuff. Love to see you there. Peace.
So how did the event itself is pretty straightforward. To start the day around 10 p.m., a ham is strung on a greasy pole in the town square. So the day starts with a ham on a pole in the town square, and here lies the challenge of the day. Someone has to get that ham from the pole.
How tall is this pole?
I don't know, but I would assume pretty tall.
Okay.
Like-
Well, it's not an easy feat to like.
Yeah. No, it would be like a power pole kind
Oh.
of pole.
If you're really good at throwing ninja stars,
Yeah.
you might be able to win this contest.
Maybe. Yeah. You just knock it off.
Yeah.
But
You have a
yeah.
partner who's there to catch it,
yeah.
and you just gotta throw your ninja stars.
It seems the Spaniards aren't that smart because they just climb it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think the challenge is to climb it. That's why there's a greasy pole. Which is interesting because I think when we were in Barcelona, it's like a whole thing of people like climbing shit. There's another festival or some other
Climbing and
celebration.
throwing shit.
Yeah. In Barcelona, there's something about climbing there again because I remember seeing people climbing stuff there.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. So once the ham is grabbed, a signal, usually I think from a starter pistol, goes off, and trucks and tomatoes roll up, open up, and a food fight begins.
All right. Olé.
So this one, it lasts again no more than an hour or two, and essentially until the next starter pistol is shot, and that sound will mark the end.
Oh.
And the end fire hoses are pulled out, and all the tomatoes are washed away, just like that.
Oh.
So yeah, it's about a few 100,000 kilograms of
That's
tomatoes.
so much tomato.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What's interesting is they have their own rules and safety protocols, I guess. Only throw tomatoes was one
No
rule.
potatoes.
No potatoes. No bananas. No mañanas.
No wine.
No wine either, yeah. There's
That's,
people... I think they have a ban on people from Haro.
It's like you've thrown one thing, you can't
Yeah.
throw another
You
thing.
can only throw... You're either a whiner or a tomato.
I think I'm a whiner.
Me too. The other rule is you should make sure to squash the tomato before throwing it as to not injure anybody. No fighting or tearing of clothes. I guess that happens a lot.
Yes.
And on the second shot, no more throwing. There are a few other things that come up, but those were the interesting ones, I guess. I tried to look into why tomatoes exactly. It doesn't really seem to have any reason why it was
Yeah.
tomatoes. It seems to be just the fruit that happened to be thrown during that
It's
fight
juicy.
in the 40s.
It's juicy. It's pretty, like, not hard, like not likely to injure.
Yeah.
And the shape of it makes it easy to throw. Like imagine trying to throw like some cilantro. It just wouldn't work.
Just flops on your face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just wet cilantro is just not
Yeah.
a nice feeling.
Yeah, so it's like a good aerodynamic shape to throw.
Yeah. Which makes you really think, if the guy back then was so mad he crashed into, say, an asparagus cart instead of a tomato cart, would
Or
we still
cilantro
have,
cart.
or cilantro cart, would we still have La Tomatina today? Very
don't know.
important question. Yeah.
There might be a parallel universe where this never happened.
Yeah. Or is it different? It's like
Or
La
it's a different... Yeah.
Potatina, which the potatoes are thrown and people die.
I feel like
every
you get a
year.
lot of injuries without... Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's nothing really special about why it was a tomato, but I guess because it was a tomato that happened to be the thing that got thrown back then, it became a festival because tomatoes are pretty throwable and not painful at the same time. In fact, there's nothing even special about Valencian tomatoes. I was looking into what tomatoes they use for the festival. It's actually not even from Valencia. They ship a bunch of tomatoes
They ship
from
tomatoes there.
from Extremadura in the Midwest of Spain nowadays. So I don't even think Valencia produces enough tomatoes for this. So now it's just a festival.
Hey, it sounds like a fun one.
It sounds like a fun one for sure, yeah. And as we are a food podcast, the food in Valencia or La Tomatina, when you go there, aside from tomatoes, I guess, it seems like when it comes to the food in Buñol, you can have paella Valencia, which is essentially the original OG paella, which seems to be chicken, rabbit, beans, tomatoes, snails, saffron, and paprika on rice.
It's a lot of different proteins.
Yeah, it sounds.
Did you say
really
snails?
Good. I did say snails. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because escargot is snails.
Yes.
Wait, is
I thought
escargot
it was
French?
Yeah.
Never mind. Escargot.
Escar. Mañana.
Mañana. We're not scientists.
No. Nor linguists.
We're linguists, yeah. We're actually just very regular, average people.
We're just stewing in our mediocrity right now.
Yep. There's also another
Mediocre
dish, though,
knowledge.
called fideuà. Fideuà? F-I-D-E-U-A. How do you pronounce that in Spanish?
Fideuà?
Fideuà. Yeah.
I don't know.
Which
I
is
don't know
essentially, yeah. I don't know. We're no linguists. But fideuà is essentially paella, but with seafood, and instead of rice, it's thin pasta called fideo.
Okay.
There's also another dish called ollada, which is meat and vegetable casserole dish of sorts, and they're also known for their tapas and also horchata.
Oh, I love horchata.
Yeah. So
It's a form of rice that we'll actually consume.
yeah, I guess because you don't get the texture of rice; it's a drink at that point.
It's just a drink. Yep.
Fair enough. See, I mean, you drink rice wine, right? Like sake and
I
soju.
get real drunk real quick. But no, I do drink it.
So yeah, that's pretty much La Tomatina. It's just a food fight, which sounds super fun. Again,
It does.
I would do it. But apparently around the world, there are equivalent festivals where you throw tomatoes. There's the Colorado-Texas Tomato War, which apparently is where Coloradonans try to take the Texan Straw Alamo effigy while people throw tomatoes at each other.
Why not?
Because why not? Exactly.
Why not?
There's also a bunch of different states around the world that also try to have a similar tomato war. The Colombian town of Sutamarchan also has a similar one when there are a surplus of tomatoes. Also, Costa Rica has a similar one. China also apparently has a similar one. And India used to have one, but apparently now it's banned because they find it to be too wasteful, which makes
It is
total
quite
sense.
wasteful. As a film person, I don't even know why I led that as a film person, but it's featured in one of my favorite movies,
How is it?
We need to talk about Kevin, and I don't mean Kevin as in my turtle.
The Asian Kevin?
Not my Kevin, but we need to talk about Kevin. I think it opens with that festival.
Really?
The opening scene, yeah. It's Tilda Swinton.
Which movie is this?
We need
Doctor
to talk
Strange.
about Kevin.
Oh!
That's the title. So I remember watching
Why
it,
do we have
and
to
I
talk
had no
about
idea.
Kevin? Just tell me the movie title.
We need to talk about Kevin.
It's like Kevin, like Asian Kevin? Like how we call all Asian people Kevin? I'm confused.
Definitely not an Asian Kevin.
Yeah.
It's not a very festivus
Well, Tilda
type of
Swinton's
film.
Asian, right?
Yes, in Doctor Strange.
In Doctor Strange,
She
yeah,
definitely is.
so-
Yeah, that's a movie you should watch.
Yeah.
It's a different take
What's it
on the
called?
festivities. It's shut up. We need to talk about my turtle.
That's a good movie. Also, is it based in Spain or like set in Spain?
Nope, it's just Tilda Swinton having some kind of a mental crisis. This is not even giving anything away at the Tomato Festival. So
That is such
it's a very
random
cerebral, very melancholic movie.
premise. Cool.
So that's a warning. If you don't want to like be in that mood, then don't watch it.
I've been in that mood for 2 months. I think I could. That's a
Okay,
good movie
you
to
should watch
yeah.
it.
Well, as we do with every episode, we ask, is it healthy or is it good? Surprisingly, tomatoes are a natural disinfectant. So
Oh, nice.
I guess it's healthy.
Maybe
'cause
they
then-
should let it go this year.
Yeah. Right?
What
They
if
could probably
tomatoes
continue
kill
that.
coronavirus?
Yeah, it's a good cure for it. So yeah, I guess at the end of the fight, you end up being very clean, and the town itself gets fairly clean because there's so many tomatoes. So I guess it's healthy.
I guess. Yeah. Sure.
It's
And
sanitary.
if you accidentally ingest some of it, you're good because
Yeah. Disinfectant.
it's good for you.
It's like ingesting Lysol or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It'll
Yeah.
kill all the germs.
Same thing. Exactly the same thing.
Totally.
But we're not scientists, so don't trust that.
We're also not linguists. Don't forget.
I like episode 70. It's just us telling everybody what we're not. We'll just have shirts that list out what we're not. But we
It'll be a
are.
real full shirt.
But we are mediocre podcast food enthusiasts.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to, is it good though? I mean, I like paella, but I'm not a big fan of tomatoes. And tomatoes are
So-
slimy. I would take the wine festival over this, I think is what I would say.
Me too. That's a good answer. I would
Yeah.
also.
And this one's so popular that you need tickets, so it's a little too famous for me.
Right. It's like the Coachella of food throwing festivals.
They both even end with an A. La Tomatina, Coachella. Rename it to La Coachella.
Then all the hippies will show up. Well,
Yeah.
not hippies. Instagram hippies will show up.
Meanwhile, they're in the sewers of Buñol. You have a bunch of people just making ketchup from all the tomato waste.
The #1 export.
It's
It's
weird.
already been stomped on.
Yeah. Did you know
Kinda.
the headquarter of Heinz is in Spain?
Wow.
But yes,
We're
that's-
just making up shit now.
yeah.
It's cool.
But La Tomatina apparently is true. I think. Yeah, that's the episode about La Tomatina. And that wraps up our festivals on Spain about throwing stuff.
Yay.
Yeah.
I
So
wanna
just
go
like
throw
last
things.
episode, I guess, yeah. Go hashtag us with Smörgåsbord and show us how you can
Throw
celebrate
your
La
tomatoes.
Tomatina at home.
Be sure to use a Valencia filter
Yes.
for bonus points.
Bonus points for Valencia filter. Bonus points if you buy a full crate of tomatoes. There's a surplus right now in BC, so anybody here might be able
Support
to. Yeah.
support the locals.
Yeah, that's true. We could support local businesses. Buy wine, buy tomatoes. and just
And then
pour
just
it all over
mashing
yourself.
it into your
Yeah.
face. That works.
Yeah. Well, I guess like last week, it's out of celebration you could pour the wine, and if this week, if you're ever angry about something, then you have tomatoes to throw at somebody.
That's so much tomato.
Yep.
It's like death by tomato. If like some kind of
Yeah.
accident happened where the barrels of tomato like fell.
Yeah, I wonder if someone's ever died from this. I don't think so. I guess if you have
I
allergies.
hope not.
It'd be a bad time to
crippling
discover.
tomato
yeah.
allergy. That would be awful.
It would be a bad time to discover your tomato allergies.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Better
Cool.
than COVID, I guess. That's the episode.
Thanks for listening. We're not doctors.
Neither are we linguists.
Oh no, we're
Bye.
not scientists.
We might be doctors.
No, I already said we're not, so now
Alright.
we're neither scientists nor doctors. Okay, bye.
Bye.
This is Smörgåsbord.
Have a ritual, myth, or something strange you want us to explore? Send us a message through Facebook at Geek Happy Network or email us at team@geekhappynetwork.com. We'd love to hear from our fellow Smorgies. This show was created by Angel Lynn and Mick Narciso, hosted by Angel Lynn and Mick Narciso, edited by Mick Narciso and Bianca Goico, logo and graphics by Angel Lynn, music by Mick Narciso, and videography by Bianca Goico.